NBA Today. We have a trio of terrific reporters joining us here. Our Hall of Famer, Mark Spears, our reporter, Tim McMahon. Did that feel like a little bit of a letdown after the Hall of Famer, the one and only Brian Windhorst? I'm Malika Andrews. We have so much to get to in this show, but let's start in Philadelphia, a story that is developing. As the 76ers star Paul George, he underwent a successful arthroscopic procedure on his left knee on Monday to treat an injury he sustained during a recent workout. Now, PG, he played 41 games in his first of 4 years in Philadelphia last season. As we say good afternoon to our senior insider, Shams Charania, who broke this story. Shams, when exactly did this injury occur, and how will it impact the rest of PG's offseason here?
Malika, I'm told Paul George suffered the injury during an on-court workout last week, and it led to him visiting a doctor on Friday. And the decision was made to undergo arthroscopic surgery because the doctors felt like this would be an injury that would linger for a player that was never healthy all last year. Paul George's season ended rehabbing from injections on groin and knee injuries. He had a finger injury during the season as well. And so now he starts rehab for this knee injury, and he will be reevaluated at the start of this upcoming training camp. But I am told both sides will be cautious with him. They want to see Paul George return to that full form Paul George they just have not seen in Philadelphia. So I do expect both sides to be cautious from this injury that Paul George suffered last week.
Okay, so this is essentially so that they can hopefully see that full-strength Paul George that we're all waiting for in Philadelphia that never quite came to fruition. Shams, thank you so very much. Please don't go too far. This has been a busy, busy offseason, and we always want to keep tabs on that news. The Sixers' big three, though, Embiid, Maxey, George, Shams mentioned it. They played just 15 games together last season, with Philadelphia going 7-8 with that trio sharing the floor together. Injuries really derailed a lot of teams in the East for this upcoming season. It is the most wide open that we have seen a conference in quite some time. And on paper, that should open things up for the 76ers, but that hasn't quite been the case. Brian, what is it going to take for the Sixers to really contend here in this conference?
Well, they need to have their three best players on their feet in the playoffs, but they have to get to the playoffs, which they didn't last year because of these injuries. And Malika, this is a gut punch to the 76ers. Shams was talking about seeing the doctor on Friday. It was just on Friday that Daryl Morey at a press conference in Las Vegas was talking about how Paul George was so much looking forward to getting onto the court to show the Philadelphia fans what he can do. And I assume later that day he got this news. The words were still coming out of his mouth when this happened. I cannot believe this. And I will just say, from being around the NBA for 20 plus years, I can just tell you there's no such thing as minor knee surgery. Even the most basic procedure requires a big recovery. It is July. If you're going to have an injury, you want it to happen in July, not in the spring. But another setback for this team that needs this team to be together to get some momentum. Daryl has basically had to spend half of his press conference just giving injury updates to guys who are coming back from other knee surgeries, Jared McCain and Joel Embiid. And now there's another knee surgery. It's crazy what's going on there.
Yeah, look, if you want to turn the injuries off on 2K, then we can talk about the Sixers as a contender. But what are we talking about here? The expectations were there last summer. They're not there now because this is not a team that you can trust to put a healthy product on the court. I mean, what's the best realistic case for Joel Embiid?
Is a 50 games, and that's what this team is built to do, right? I was with the 76ers at the beginning of training camp last summer, or at the beginning of the season, rather, and I was told by Paul George and Joel Embiid. Joel said, I don't expect to be an 82-game player anymore. He's not even expecting to meet that 65 game. He's won an MVP before. The team around him is supposed to be able to endure, and with Jared McCain injuries, and we saw what happened with Paul George, it just hasn't been the case.
And so you're going to load manage your way through a season with a group that's barely played together, and then suddenly somehow microwave chemistry for a deep playoff run that Joel Embiid has never yet been able to lead the Sixers on. There's a whole lot of ifs here.
And that becomes even more difficult when you're looking at, okay, do you want to put BJ Edgecombe in the starting lineup for them? You can't microwave that chemistry. There's not years of familiarity to rely on here.
Yeah, and with Paul George, man, I thought about what happened with USA Basketball in 2014, and I've talked to him about how much that trickled down from that has affected his whole career. I'm always going to think what up with him with that injury. But I'm excited about BJ Edgecombe. I think he could get back to the lineup tonight. playing for the Sixers.
But even that, 76ers fans are already saying welcome to the 76ers.
But he's special.
Yes,
he's special. I've been watching him since he played in the Hoop Summit last year. 28-10 the first game. Yes, it's Summer League. But he has a different thing about him, an about him. And if they go with this three-guard lineup, assuming these guys are healthy, Edgecombe, McCain, Maxey, I think they're pretty formidable if they could get some games out of Embiid with that lineup.
I agree with you on them being a formidable lineup if they're all out there. You can see here them shooting around BJ Edgecombe and Jared McCain, who we didn't get to see a whole lot either. Jared McCain was on a track to potentially be a Rookie of the Year candidate. Yeah. He was when he went down with that injury. But when you're thinking about the best case, Brian, for Joel Embiid and the 76ers this upcoming season, what does that look like? We talk about the Knicks. We talk about the Cavaliers. On paper, we should be talking about the 76ers as well.
Okay, so I think what you're looking at, because you know Embiid will not be right at the beginning of the season, and now you know that Paul George will not be right at the beginning of the season.
Right.
So what you're having to hope for is that with the VJ Edgecombe, they were able to get this major talent infusion with the return of some of their other young players who were bothered by injuries last year, that they will be able to at least be a top 6 team. And so that what you're hoping is that by the end of the season, that people have worked through their issues, are off their restrictions with various surgeries, and that they can be a top-level team. But these are all hopes and suppositions and projections, Malika. Like, yes, if that roster that you're looking at there is mostly healthy by the spring, you look at the ability to win 4 out of 7, yeah, I would favor them in a lot of series, but it's, as McMahon said, it's very difficult for me to make an honest projection when they played together for 15 games for the last whole season.
Yeah, look, this is a franchise, a team that has as much upside as anybody in the East, but more question marks than anybody in the East. And the simple fact, the Philadelphia 76ers are built on a flimsy foundation. They are built on a foundation of 2 max players who might be the 2 worst value contracts in the NBA. And it is not about talent. Joel Embiid and Paul George are incredibly talented players. It doesn't matter if you're doing that sitting on the bench in street clothes.
Well, Mark, we're always hearing Kendrick Perkins say that this is Tyrese Maxey's team. Even Joel Embiid nicknamed him the franchise. Maybe that's for a reason. Joel Embiid wants to win. It's so clear. I feel for Joel. By the way, we're talking about these injuries. These guys want to be out here. These guys want to solidify themselves as winners, but maybe this team needs to start going maybe a little bit more as Tyrese goes.
Yeah, and the money that those 2 superstars make, what are you going to do with that? You can't move them.
Right. It's hard to say that, though, when you have someone as talented as Joel Embiid still on your team. Because I don't want that to get lost.
The injuries combined with the money, like, there's too much risk.
Right.
But Tyrese Maxey, hey, man, now's your time.
That was well put. As much upside as there is question marks about an incredibly talented 76ers team. We do have one question answered, though, with some breaking news here, new on NBA Today. Caitlin Clark will be participating in the WNBA All-Star Weekend 3-point contest here. It makes sense. She's at home. She had the opportunity to when we were talking about Sabrina Ionescu versus Steph Curry. Would we see that iteration, right, in an NBA All-Star Weekend? And it was reported that Caitlin said, you know what? I want to hold off for WNBA All-Star. She's doing it in Indianapolis. We're going to have the full list of 3-point contest participants a little bit later in the show. As well, also, we just want to remind everyone, get your vacations in now because we're 100 days away from opening night in the NBA of the 2025-26 season. Mark, you going to go away for a little bit before we get there?
Yeah, I'm going to St. Thomas.
I'm going to go to Africa. See, we're going to take a little trip here. Get your trips in, too. We've still got plenty of questions that remain unanswered. And I think that calls for a new edition of Tower of Power.
Oh.
Shaquille O'Neal was so powerful.
That sounds like a job for Wendy's Tower of Power.
Oh, that's interesting. I'm palming the ball. Number 5, 4, 3, 2. Number 1.
I say it in a voice. Tower of Power.
Tower of Power. Starring Brian Windhorst.
Malika, I heard McMahon's going to Puerto Vallarta. He'll tell you all about it. All right. The 5 biggest questions. Number 5. The Warriors, will they take care of the rest of their business? I know some of their fans are frustrated at their lack of activity, but they could end up with 3 of the most significant free agents left on the board. Now, Jonathan Kuminga, restricted free agent, that's obviously a tension-filled situation, but there's a possibility they could get something done with him. And then there's Al Horford, who's probably the best veteran free agent on the market. He is lined up potentially to sign with the Warriors, and don't be surprised if they can get DeAnthony Melton back, a guy they traded last year after he had a knee injury.
Wait, Brian.
And number 4,
dispatch from Kendrick Perkins. Will the Warriors finish business? I believe on this show there's another way that we could frame what you do with business.
Stand on business. Stand on business.
All right,
Sorry.
number 4, please continue.
Sorry, all right. Number 4, don't forget about De'Aaron Fox. Remember, he's got a big contract situation with the Spurs. They traded 3 first-round picks for him last year at the trade deadline, and you know they did that thinking they were going to get him under contract. Now, he cannot extend on a new deal until August 3rd, so it would come after that. They can give him up to $230 million over the next 4 years, adding to the deal, the 1 year he's got now. Will they be able to get him for less than that, or will they give him the full max? That's something that we're going to definitely keep an eye on. At number 3, the buyout we've been waiting for longer than any other buyout, and that's Bradley Beal from the Phoenix Suns. I mean, the idea that you would buy out $200 million players in the same summer with him and Damian Lillard is something I never thought I would ever see, but it's coming a little bit normalized. Beal would have a lot of suitors if he gets to the open market. He's going to have to take at least $14 million less for the buyout to be legal, which means he's going to want to recoup that money. The Clippers are a team that you would think would be a strong candidate for him. Eventually, I think that's going to get done, but I've been saying that for a week and a half. All right, and then we've got a couple of extensions to pay attention to. Kevin Durant, he got traded to the Houston Rockets, in case you forgot. That was a huge deal, arguably the biggest move of the summer. But Durant has only 1 year left on his contract, and there's a big reason that the Rockets would want to get him locked into a deal that's longer. Now, he can sign for up to 2 years at about $120 million. That's huge money for a guy turning 37 before the start of the regular season. Would they try to find a deal that is for less than that as they try to fit in all their other big contracts? Keep an eye on that.
Can we get a drum roll?
Number 1, the biggest contract extension of the summer. You know who it's going to be. Luka Doncic. Everybody knows from the Lakers camp that August 2nd is the first day that he can sign it. I would not expect it to happen that early. There are various reasons why the timeline could be pushed to September. Don't react negatively, Lakers fans, if you don't see a deal right away. He's playing for the Slovenian national team. Also, it behooves him probably to take a 3-year contract extension. The Lakers can offer 4 and 230, but it makes sense for him to take a 3-year extension for various long-term reasons. But anything that he would sign would be terrific for the Lakers. They're going to obviously make that their offseason priority.
This is important. Can you just underscore this for us? You said don't freak out, which, you know, is easier said than done when it comes to all of us NBA fans. Don't freak out if August 2nd comes and goes and you don't see something. Can you just explain?
Yeah, so he's playing for the Slovenian national team at the European Championships, frequently called Eurobasket, which is one of the most valuable tournament for the Europeans outside the Olympics. And he won the Eurobasket for Slovenia earlier in his career, probably the greatest moment of his career. They play 6 exhibition games leading up to the start on August 27th, and then they could go as late as September 14th, which means he may not be back into the U.S. if the Slovenians get all the way to the end until late September. And, you know, McMahon will tell you that in the past, when he's been playing for the national team, he has not done NBA business, including NBA contracts. So he could certainly pledge his intention to sign with the Lakers, but do not freak out if you do not hear from Luka contractually until September.
Yeah, and look, the reason it's an August 2nd extension date is because he waited until after the Olympics to sign his previous contract for the Mavericks, even though that deal was a mere formality. He was asked at his exit interviews that year about, hey, what do you think of maybe signing that Supermax? And he laughed and said, you know what I'm going to do. This is not a mere formality. This is the first time that Luka Doncic has really had a decision to make in terms of the contract. There is no Supermax eligibility. That blew up when the Mavericks shanked him in the back and shipped him to L.A. That's just a simple fact of the matter. And look,
one way to put it.
It's the honest way to put it. It's certainly the way that he felt about it. This will be an indication of what kind of faith that Luka Doncic has in that Lakers front office. And again, it's not about when it's signed. If he wants to wait until after Eurobasket, that's fine. But if it's not signed heading into the season, that will loom like a black cloud over the Lakers this season.
Because anytime there would be a 3-game losing streak, it already would be the lead of our show or SportsCenter, but it would come under even more scrutiny if it's, well, what is this going to mean for Luka's future, Mark?
Yeah, no, I was around when KD was going through that every day.
Which time?
Well, the Golden State thing. But with Luka, this is kind of like a cool European tour right now. He's in great shape. He's changed his diet. He's obviously in Slovenia getting ready for the national team, but he was just in Greece.
That looks like a good time.
Hanging out with Jordan. Like, I mean, I'm sure the turn-up was outstanding in Athens, Greece. And then, you know, he
had the turn out or the turn up?
The turn up.
Both.
Yeah.
Both.
Trae Young wasn't there. He's in Summer League trying to get his contract situation together. Another thing to look out for. But I think for Luka, who plays August 28th against Poland, in Poland, this is a summer where I think is going to set the tone for the rest of his career.
Can you say a little bit more about that, Tim, in terms of this is the first real contract decision that Luka's had to make in his career so far?
Right. So, look, coming off of his rookie deal, like guys sign rookie extensions. Do you want to take a Supermax or do you want to take a qualifying offer or, you know, go into restricted free agency? That's not a difficult decision. Now, there was a time in Dallas specifically, especially coming off that season when they had a tank to keep the top 10 protected pick, when he felt like, uh-oh, could this reach a danger zone? But it didn't. They made several moves. The chemistry clicked with Kyrie. They went to the finals, and Luka couldn't wait to sign the Supermax contract this summer. Obviously, circumstances changed drastically, but hey, the Lakers are, you know, they're trying to make it his team, but he did not grow up with this franchise. Again, they don't have the massive financial advantages of saying, hey, we can pay you hundreds of millions, 9 figures more than anybody else. So this will be the first time in Luka's career where it wasn't really an obvious
foregone
decision.
conclusion.
But is he a saint in all this? I know you said the Mavericks stabbed him in the back, but does he have to be accountable for anything that led to the trade?
I think he has to be accountable for 34-10-9 and taking the team to the finals the months before.
That's not what I asked.
Luka's
is he a saint?
No, of course not.
Yeah.
No, Luka's conditioning has been a problem throughout the course of his career. He's clearly doing something about that this summer. The Revenge Bod tour is on. There's no question about that. Look, Luka's not a saint, but again, the man took him to the finals months before. But forget that. That business is done. Let's focus on the business that Luka has in front of him this summer.
I don't think it's time to litigate sainthood, but it is time to litigate a contract here for Luka Doncic. And the Lakers clearly want him to be their next face of a franchise. And by the way, nobody is saying that he is not going to sign this contract. We're just talking about the date in which it could be signed. He does have a decision to make, Brian. But can you just map out what it looks like? Let's say he doesn't sign a contract going into the season. Can you just map that out for us?
Well, there's 3 max contracts that NBA players, superstars, can sign. One that's worth 25% of the cap, 30% and 35%. Depends on years of service. The first one I call the fun max because almost everybody who's offered it signs it. It's no big deal, like Bontemps discussed.
Fun size.
I mean, like McMahon discussed a minute ago. Then there's the stress max. This happens when it's a player's second max contract. This is when players sometimes leave or are not really worth it. This is the stress max right now for Luka. The Lakers are a little bit stressed out about it. Then there's the legacy max. When you get the 35%, you're home free. Everything's going to be great. This is the stress max situation. So if he signs it, relief for the Lakers. They can spend a little bit of time looking at their roster over the next 2 or 3 years, making decisions that are not based on what's going to be best for us tomorrow. What are we going to present to Luka in 2026? We can think about what the team looks like in 27, 28, etc. If he doesn't sign it, he can be a free agent next summer when there's going to be 10-plus teams with cap space. If he does not sign it, you will see teams begin to open up maneuvers to try to chase Luka. And every day that will go by when there's any sort of wobble with the Lakers, you mentioned a losing streak, or if they're in 7th place on December 5th or something like that, everything will be tied to the Luka contract, especially with LeBron on the last year of his contract as well. So the Lakers don't want that in their lives. They want the no stress max. That's what they're going to try to present to him on August 2nd.
Yeah, pick your fighter. That is what you pick your own adventure here. That's what we could be up for here with the Los Angeles Lakers if there's not a deal reached. Let's get it over to what went down in the WNBA last night. We had some good action, starting with the Minnesota Lynx in Wintrust Arena facing off against the Chicago Sky here. Nafisa Collier,
Let her
nice little fadeaway jumper. And then Angel Reese With Nafisa all over her, drives in for the contested layup. Sky goes up by 7. So let's head to the third quarter here. Angel gets the rebound, launches the dime there to Rebecca Allen. Double queen. In the fourth quarter, Williams finds Collier, knocking down the three. The Lynx get the win, 91-78. And then Alyssa Thomas and the Mercury facing the Valkyries in this tough matchup. We're going to pick it up in the fourth quarter, 15 seconds to go. Watch Salon here. What a set.
Hey.
Nails the three-pointer. And then 9 seconds to go here. Once again, it's Salon in clutch time, tying the game. But right here, game still tied. Alyssa Thomas with the pick and roll.
Come on, Ref.
Gets fouled.
Come on, Ref.
She can't believe it. Thomas would make one of her throws, taking the 1-point lead.
Come on, Ref.
Valkyries.
Right.
Come on, Ref.
Lee, you're trying to criticize Luka. You cry about refs more than he does.
With the win, the Mercury moved in the WNBA standings. You two are too much. The Valkyries, they're tied with the Aces for the 8th and final playoff spot. Caitlin Clark and the Fever, they sit at 6, but they're just a game and a half out from home court advantage in the first round. So let's now welcome in our WNBA insider, Alexa Philippou, who's live at TD Garden. That's right. It's just the second WNBA game in the building to accommodate for the massive crowds for tonight's Fever-Sun matchup. These two teams, they've got a little bit of history. I was in the building in Indianapolis when there was a little bit of some fighting to end the game there, some criticizing the referees. What are you expecting tonight here, Alexa?
Yeah, Malika, well, both teams really downplayed what happened that last month when things got a little testy between both squads. Coach Rashid Mezian said, look, that game's in the past, we're moving on. Both teams are looking to try and finish strong going into the All-Star break. But there's also a lot of excitement and anticipation, really, going into what you were saying before. Again, the second game ever to be held in this building for the WNBA. I was actually at this game last year when the Sun were hosting the Los Angeles Sparks, and it was an incredible environment. There was 19,000 people. It was a sellout. There was Let's Go Sun chants, which is pretty cool to see, given that we're still, quite a ways away from the Suns' home base in Uncasville. But I think tonight it's really going to be elevated to a whole nother level. Olivia Nelson-Ododa played in both that game last year and this game, obviously, this year. And she was saying that she thought last year was a little bit more nerve-wracking for the team because it was the first time ever playing in this building. This year it might be a little bit more intense, though, because of the opponent. And Tina Charles actually said something that was pretty funny. She said, we're actually a little we're prepared if there's more Caitlin Clark fans here to see if the Fever come to town than Sun fans. So we'll have to see how it pans out.
Right. I mean, usually, Alexa, I'm someone who is POMO. I am proud of missing out. For this game, I have FOMO. I wish I was there to see this environment because it's going to be electric. It's going to be awesome. Hey, before we let you go, some news that came down today. Kayla McBride from the Minnesota Lynx will replace Ryan Howard, who is dealing with a knee injury in this year's All-Star game. Also, the skills and three-point contest participants, they were just released. So I want to just take a look at this together. And as we're looking at this list, what stands out to you? Also, Caitlin Clark hitting some half-court shots, but hopefully we can show you that list here coming up. There it is. Yeah, what are you looking at when you see this?
I mean, it has to start with Caitlin Clark, right? This is the most anticipated debut for a player having in a three-point contest that we've seen probably in quite some time. Of course, she has not shot particularly well so far this season, in large part probably due to those injuries that she's been dealing with. But we know that she really cared for her first three-point contest to be in front of those Indy home fans. She will be able to do that. So I think that was a huge win for fans when they saw that in the announcement. But also, it's a really stacked lineup if we go down the list. Alicia Gray, obviously, the defending champion of both the skills contest and the three-point contest of this whole group. She's actually leading the league, or leading the group in three-point shooting this season. Sabrina Ionescu, obviously those 37 points she scored in the three-point contest 2 years ago. That was an unbelievable performance. And then I would not want to have to go up against Kelsey Plum. She's a tough competitor. Sonia Citron, an incredible rookie player. So I'm really excited for this. I think they did a great job with these players, and it's going to be one for the books.
Yeah, if they do as nearly as good of a job as you do with that concentration over the PA announcer, then we are in for a real treat in this three-point contest. Alexa, thank you so very much. We'll be seeing you coming up here soon on NBA Today. We do have a little bit more W news before we head to break. The league announced the name of the Portland expansion team, the Portland Fire, or should I say welcome back Portland Fire to the league. Of course, it's the name that the Portland franchise had from 2000 to 2000.
That nickname aged well, though, didn't it?
Yeah. Athletes, and to join us, coming through, Dylan. Welcome to the show.
Oh.
We're so excited to have you
Yeah,
here.
I'm so happy to be here.
And we understand that you're thinking about maybe going into the sports broadcasting industry as well. What's lined up for you over the next couple of hours and days here?
So tonight, well, I'm here obviously, and then tonight we have the sports humanitarian dinner at the Dolby Ballroom, and then tomorrow we are walking the red carpet and going to the ESPYs and hopefully meeting some people. So
hopefully meeting some people.
You're gonna meet some people.
Yeah, it's a star-studded lineup out there, and not just Mark Spears, although he tends to roll through Big Poppin' as well. Is there anyone in particular that you're like, oh, I would really love to maybe meet this person?
LeBron would be cool.
LeBron.
Tyrese Halliburton, Josh Allen, Saquon Barkley, Michael Pittman Jr. maybe. I'm a Colts fan, so yeah, anyone from the Colts.
You're
really
a Colts fan. You're a tennis fan.
Yeah.
You're a fan of Caitlin Clark as well, I heard.
Yes.
And we thought that maybe we would try out, I mean, you want to be a sportscaster. We would read a couple of highlights together.
Okay.
But before that, someone sent me a very special message that they wanted you to see. Take a look.
Hey Dylan, it's Caitlin Clark. I heard you get to be in studio with everyone today, so I just wanted to send you a little video and tell you hello and thank you for your support. I heard you're a really big fan of myself, so I really appreciate it. I hope you have an amazing day with everybody. I want you to know I'm sending you all my best, and hopefully one day we can get you out to a Fever game as well. So take care and have an amazing day.
A little message from Caitlin Clark as well. I mean, we wanted to start off your experience here at ESPN, right? And we're so appreciative to Caitlin for helping us out with that. We also saw that you had a huge reaction to the Johnny Furphy dunk earlier.
I did.
Show. You think we should all take another look together?
Oh, great.
We're going to let you lead these highlights, right? Because in case you missed it, Johnny Furphy, I like to do it with his accent, just a little bit. I mean, what do you think? One of the best dunks we've ever seen?
It was a really, really good dunk.
Take us through this.
All right, so we just yams it back on him. Hand in the face. The defender's face is just, he's never living that down. Feel bad for him.
When the kids in the stands are acting that way.
I know. That was my face, too.
Tyrese Halliburton, one of your favorite players, weighed in as well. And your favorite player's favorite player, Johnny Furphy. And then look at this. I mean, the photo of Noah Senge.
We've got to start blurring the poor guy's face. Cool and unusual.
Oh, that's getting framed in Furphy's house.
I think that it probably should be. We thought that we would look. We have a franchise here on NBA Today. It's called Top of the Top. So in honor of that dunk, we thought we'd take a look at some of the best Summer League dunks of all time. You want to take a look with us?
Yeah.
Let's do it. All right, 2019. This is Jackson Hayes here, soaring in for the slam. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo.
What was underneath him?
That is nasty work.
Yeah, that's...
I guess you can take charge of the Summer League. It's not pickup.
JaVale McGee.
Little cradle.
Yeah. Rockabye, baby. Young JaVale, too.
Oh, yeah, really.
Pre-rat tail, pre all of it. Done on Rudy. Baby young, too.
Yeah.
What about this one?
6'9", young.
Take us through this one. We got Paul George driving in for the slam here.
Young Paul George is, again, just taking off. That's disgusting.
Woo. And then we go to 2022. Were you there for this one, Mark? This is Gary Payton II.
No problem.
When a little guy can dunk.
His dad don't have no mops.
I mean. And then this one.
Right into the celebration, too.
No, I was at this.
I don't know if there's ever going to be a better Summer League dunk. But we got another one for you. This is 2007. Rudy Gay going baseline.
Standard definition.
Hey. Is that E in lane? Oh, E.
And then Damian Lillard announcing himself. We hope to see him back on the floor soon.
I know.
Sooner rather than later. Really a bummer there that he's not available mostly for this upcoming season. And then Jaylen Brown, he still does that. So that's the NBA Finals. Yeah. What do you think, Dylan, after doing a segment of TV? I mean, I think you're cut out for it. I think you're ready.
Thank you, yeah.
You think that this could be something in the future?
It could be, yes.
I love it. I love it. I love the energy. I love your highlight reads. And yams is something that we're going to be using a little bit.
Take you fishing too, brother. Go fishing.
Thank you so much. Yeah, Mark is a huge fisherman.
Let's do it.
He loves to fish. So thank you for stopping by our studios here on NBA Today. We're also incredibly grateful for the continuous support of ESPN and the Walt Disney Company, longtime champions of the V Foundation and Make-A-Wish. Their dedication helps Dylan's dreams come true, and we're excited to play just a tiny, tiny part of it with your NBA Today experience. So Dylan, one more round of applause for Dylan. We appreciate you.
Thank you, guys.